I'm just gonna be totally honest with you guys. I never thought that these movies would turn out to be a trilogy. Yet, here we are, so let's see if it still has the magic. Okay, so Night at the Museum, Secret of the Tomb. So Night at the Museum, Secret of the Tomb is the third installment to these museum movies. You know, they have this magical tablet that turns all the exhibits and statues to life during nighttime. Well, yeah, why else would it be called Night at the Museum? And Ben Stiller returns as the lead role, and since he's been doing this night watch thing for so long, they all thought it would be a fantastic idea to make this nighttime spectacular open to the public. And it really is a good idea. I would honestly pay to see this exhibit. A couple things go wrong, and it turns out that this tablet is losing its magic and keeping this exhibit alive. So now Ben Stiller and his group of museum friends have to go back to its original owners in London to retrieve the magic back. And these Night at the Museum movies, they're fun, entertaining family movies. The first one was really cool. The second one was not so much. So if you're going into this expecting it to be some thought-provoking movie like, yes, what an interesting observation, don't do that. Toss that logic out the window because it's a kid's movie. I honestly enjoyed this movie more than I thought I was going to, which was not enjoying it at all. As you're watching the exhibits come to life once again, it's really cool to see since they're like representations of historical figures. And I am a huge history fan because you take a piece of history home with you as if you actually went to a museum. Although this one didn't do it as much as the first one did, but it still had that element of teaching kids a little history while making it fun and enjoyable. And this exhibit Ben Stiller sets up where it's open to the public, they come up and converse with people. I mean, seriously, who wouldn't want to have Teddy Roosevelt come up to you and start a conversation? The dude's a legend. Makes you wish there was an actual exhibit like that, but sadly there just isn't, and I have to accept that. Although I'm watching the performances mainly on the historical figures, and some of them can be a bit over-exaggerated. Like when they come across Lancelot in the London Museum, he's all like, "Gather forth, friends, let us journey to our quest." It got annoying at some parts, but it saved itself when Ben Stiller was all like, "Yeah, you're not Lancelot. You may think you are, but no, dude." I was all, oh, I see a little bit of Toy Story element in there. Although not quite as heartbreaking when Buzz finds out he can't fly. Ben Stiller, I would say, is the saving grace of this film because he's like the adult mindset, what us adults are thinking as this movie progresses. Well, kind of. It can be good, but mostly a bad thing because the shenanigans that these historical figures pull, he's not laughing, so you're not laughing. Some of the jokes were really forced and fell short and at times felt a bit rinse and repeat. It's like, oh, the monkey is about to pee on the thing. Oh, he just did. Holy shit, he's still doing it. It was sometimes stupid slapstick comedy, and it just dumbs the movie down for me. Not only were the jokes forced, but so was some of the aspects of the story, like Ben Stiller's relationship with his son. Yeah, 3 movies later, I still don't give a shit about him. Now that his kid is all grown up, he has to move into the adult world and get adjusted why growing up really sucks. For you kids out there, growing up is a lie. You don't want to get older. You realize you have to do shitty things like pay your taxes, so kids, enjoy your youth while you can. And usually whenever there are cameos in a movie, that also feels forced, but not this time. When the cameos do happen, it's actually really funny, especially one cameo at the end. I'm not going to tell you which one. But when this specific person appears on screen, you're like, holy shit, and the stuff that they do, it's hilarious. You can't help but laugh. Brings the movie up for me because it's just awesome. And you know, this is Robin Williams' last movie, I believe, and you can't help but feel a little sad inside. Towards the end, he was given his final monologue, his last goodbye. I was seriously crying because he's gone. He gave an extremely positive scene, and it made me realize how much he meant to me in my childhood. That scene was very powerful, and I haven't cried like that in theaters from sadness in such a long time. So in the end, Night at the Museum, Secret of the Tomb is a fun, enjoyable family movie. It's meant for kids, but not for adults. It's one of those movies where you want little Johnny to shut his mouth because he's screaming his head off. Put the movie in, he's good to go, and you can go off and do your adult things. This movie won't make your kid dumb, but it might teach them a few things. The exhibits itself was awesome to look at, although they can be exaggerated at some parts. Jokes fell flat, and some characters you just don't give a shit about. But I gotta give points to that last Robin Williams monologue because it's one of those scenes where the adults will come back and watch with their kids. But if you want to see Night at the Museum, Secret of the Tomb, red box it. It may be the best bet. Have you guys seen Night at the Museum, Secret of the Tomb? What did you think about it? Leave a comment below. And as always, you can keep in contact with me through Facebook and Twitter in the description below. But in the meantime, I have to get going.